This is the Dick and Conversation podcast. I'm Elissa. If this is your first time, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you've seen me before, then welcome back. You're probably listening to me or watching me on Amazon, iHeart, Pandora, Spotify, or looking at me on YouTube. Like, subscribe, and share. My social media is Dick and Conversation Podcast Facebook page. My YouTube is Dick and Conversation Podcast channel. My Instagram is Dick and Conversation _ podcast. My email is Dick and Convo at gmail.com. And my blue sky is Dick and Convo bsky.social. I have a guest, and this is so long overdue. So long overdue. I've been a guest on his podcast, and I had mentioned before in my episode with where I was talking about not changing the name. I mentioned Coach Kevin Marshall because I wanted him to come on and talk about some things just that we're seeing nationally, internationally, globally, and here
Mhm.
locally because we're in the state of Michigan. So I wanted to bring him on and also to discuss Marshall Mediaverse. It's kind of like Marvelverse, Powerverse, because he has several podcasts and has spread throughout his family. So welcome, Kevin Marshall, coach from Coach
Hey,
Marshall. More than a coach.
thank you. I appreciate you having me on. Thank you.
I appreciate you doing this. I
hmm
really do. I really do. So before I
Go
get
ahead.
started with my question, because I have a whole script of questions divided into two sections, is there
Okay.
anything you wanted to say
First
about
off,
yourself?
happy holidays, everybody.
Yes.
Hope y'all enjoyed your Christmas and have a happy New Year. And once again, thank you for bringing me on the podcast. I've been waiting. I've been watching, and I'm like, uh-oh, I know I'm gonna get on the hot seat one day. So, I'm here. So, thank you.
Hey, you have yours, and it's different once when you're the one always asking the questions.
hmm
When
That's
someone
true.
asks you, and
That is
I
so
didn't
true.
just so everyone is aware. I did not send these questions ahead of time. Anytime I
hmm
interview people, I always just ask, "What is it that you don't want to talk about?" Or is there something
hmm
specifically that you do want to talk about? So,
Mm.
um, Coach Marshall said just gave me the okay on the two topics we're going to discuss, but we're going to discuss them in detail. So thank you. First of
You're
all,
welcome.
how's your recovery going?
You know what? It's going okay. I was just looking at my scar. I'm like, man, it's disappearing, but I still dealing with a lot of the pain and stuff. So if you
Hmm.
see, I hold my neck a certain way. I don't have my brace on. So my wife gonna get
Yeah.
me when she find out I'm down here without it. But I'm
Oh.
hard headed. But I do therapy every day, 6 days a week.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I had to do therapy to help the nerves and the muscle because they put a plate with two screws in the back of my neck.
Oh my
So
God.
old football injuries come back to haunt me at an old man.
I
hmm
know a friend of mine was watching a lot of documentaries on he was watching one on Antonio Brown. He was like, "Did you know he went to Central Michigan?" I said, "Yeah." And he didn't
hmm
know. I said, "Fire up chips." But we were talking about some of the football injuries, but mostly they were focusing on CTE because he wasn't aware of it. And I think that, that has
Oh
happened to a
yeah.
lot of football players. It's
hmm
unfortunate those that suffer from it, they don't find out that they have it until
Until
postmortem.
later.
Yeah,
Yep, that's
till
true.
after,
And I
and
found
that's
out with my stuff, I started having numbness in my hands. My legs started going out on me. And that's what led me to retire from coaching because I was having a lot of issues. And a lot of people didn't know, and I
mm,
ain't tell nobody. But and I'm a predominantly left-handed person, and when I couldn't use my hand, and
yeah.
my right is still struggling, but God got me, so I know
Yes,
I'll be
yes, he
better.
does.
You know.
Yes, he
hmm
does. I didn't want to ask why you retired, but I was just figuring like maybe you were just tired or you was
I
done,
was
but
that too, but man, I've been doing it for 32 years here. So
wow.
yeah, 32 years since my son was in the fourth grade. And he's gonna be
Wow.
32 next week. So
Was it
yeah,
hard? Was it a hard decision? Or did you think about
you
it? Did you
you know
just
what?
immediately say, "No, I'm done"?
Mm, basketball was harder for me to quit than football.
Okay.
Football, I knew I was cutting the practice field, and I just was like, you know what? I'm tired. I'm
Yeah.
doing both sports. I'm constantly, all year round. I'm missing
Yeah.
family events. And
Hmm.
then my brother opened my eyes and said, I ain't gonna put you in my wedding because you always coaching.
Oh,
I'm like, bro, I'm your brother. And he was
right.
like, so? So at that point, I was like, yeah, that kind of pushed it. So I got
Yeah.
off the lawnmower, walked in and told my ADA, this is my last year. But
Yeah.
football, I fought and fought with it. Then I just
Yeah.
started praying, and then when I had met with the surgeon, and they told me that the surgery was serious because I was
Mhm.
actually supposed to have it back in August, this past August, but something happened with the doctor, so they pushed it to
Mhm.
October, and I knew, and then they told me it'd be a 6 to 8 month recovery period.
Yeah.
So I knew then, and basically
That's your
forced me
sign.
out. Yep, but I miss it. I ain't gonna lie to you. I
That was a
miss it,
question
but
I had later down in here, but you answered
oh
it
yeah,
because I put in here
yeah.
about recent life changes and retiring from coaching. Do you
Hmm.
how are you doing mentally with it?
Man, it's hard to go to games. I go
That's
out,
another
I
question I
do
had.
photography.
Yeah.
And so I was going, taking pictures of the games and stuff. And then I get mad because I'm like, damn, I should be coaching. But I know that's a whole different world. And that's
Yeah.
why I didn't drown myself into what you call the Marshall Media universe.
Martial
But
arts, right?
yeah, but I do miss it though. And then who knows, maybe one day somewhere I'll be back. But I got to get right with myself first.
Yeah, or you can
You
do
know.
one that's go with the little younger ones that's just on a Saturday. Them one Saturday
uh,
games, one practice a
yeah,
week, go to and start small just so
yeah,
it's enough to kind of
yeah.
like
And I
taste
do
get a
got a
taste.
couple granddaughters that starting to play and love it. So I'll
There
be
you
back
go.
to coaching girls again. I already
There you
know.
go. There you go.
Yep.
That was a question I had that says, do so
Hmm.
is your intentional planning now is your planning intentional now? Because now without the coaching and it's practice and the games and the travel time in the practice and team meetings, that opened up a lot of time. So is your planning
Oh,
intentional now where you actually
yeah.
plan family time?
Yes, we do a lot. Me and my wife, we done been on more dates than this last year than we've been on probably for 30 years, man, together.
I like
Without me
that.
coaching. So, and
Yeah.
we planning, like I told my kids last week, I said, after my baby girl get married next year, I
Mhm.
said, me and my wife, we in the streets. So
I
next
get it.
next Christmas, I won't be here. I'll be in Florida. I promise you that. I'm waking
I
up somewhere
get
on
it.
somebody's beach.
I
So,
get it. I get it.
mm-hmm.
That happens when you become empty nesters and you have
Oh
that open
yeah.
time. I get it. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, see this. I'm not used to doing questions, but with you, I wanted to make sure it was some stuff I had to make sure
Oh
I get.
yeah.
So, you spoke about photography, and I did see your photography where you had done it throughout the with the local teams throughout the football season. Now, I
Mm-hmm.
don't want nobody in Saginaw, don't get at me. But in looking at the squads and you being a coach from your perspective, what local team impressed you the most? With the plays, with the
uh,
coaching, camaraderie, the offensive, defensive, everything, special teams, everything.
I tell you, when you look as a coach, I won't say the school. Well, yeah, I will. I don't care. United was probably the most put together that I
Mm,
went to. You know,
mhm.
I went, of course, to Bridgeport. That's where I'm
Yeah,
from. So I went there,
you had to.
went over, seen Freeland. But
Mhm.
my thing is, I'm more of my city kids.
Yeah,
I wanted to spend more time with United, Bridgeport, Carlton,
yeah.
summer heritage and stuff like that. So,
Mhm.
where I can impact our kids.
Right,
Even though
right.
I'm not coaching them, I still want to be an impact by taking pictures or
Mhm.
video clips. And,
Mhm.
I still got contacts in the coaching world. So
Mhm.
kids reach out to me. Hey, coach, can you help me? Yeah, I got you. And I send a little clip to a coach or whatever. And,
Mhm.
so
Mhm.
I felt watching overall, I just love the way United when he had the midnight practice, Coach King.
Mhm.
Shout out to him. And
Hey, grill master. I call him grill
when
master.
yep.
Mhm.
So when I went, it reminded me when he was on my coaching staff at Bridgeport,
Mhm.
and we had midnight practices, and then I just smiled because I'm like, this is what it's about, you
Mhm.
know. But I did
Mhm.
like going to games, just seeing kids, playing and still for the love of the game because football
Mhm.
is a losing sport in our city,
It
and I
is.
think we got to get it back, especially in our community.
Mhm.
Outside Frankenmuth, Freeland, Swan Valley is big there. Even Newville is big.
Mhm.
So you
And I
know.
think it's probably because I know my son he went to Newville and went to White Pine, and I think it's probably because in the younger ones, they have the tackle where they have the uniforms and the
Mm-hmm.
pants and the pads and stuff. And our kids are starting to get there. Like my younger brother, he coaches football and he's
Okay.
trying to build and he's getting there and getting there. But you're right, it is, and it's a difference when you know the kids, you know the parents, you know the
Yep.
community. You know some of the circumstances that they're coming. You know their talents, their skills, what they need to hone on. And you get an
And
opportunity to watch them grow.
it's funny you say that too, because I was at his practice taking pictures and stuff. I edited them. I still got to send them to him. So it was right the week before I had surgery. So I got to
Yeah,
send them to him. But yep, that's
yeah.
my guy there. I
And
just,
every
yeah.
year he'll say, "I'm done." Till
Hmm.
next year.
That that's what he was saying to me too. Then,
Mhm.
man, these kids. I see why you retired. Like,
Yeah.
that was funny.
That's what he
That's
say.
my
Cause
guy.
now he even got his son coaching with him. So
Hmm.
he's like, "I'm done.
Yep.
I can't do it." Till next year.
Yep.
Like, "Well, let me go and get to practice with the kids."
That
I'm like, "All
hey,
right,
that's
Paris, I'll let
the
you later."
that's the life of a coach. You know.
Yeah. Okay,
Hmm.
so here we go. So in my opinion, in your opinion, what can make let me put it make sure. In your opinion, what can make or break a program? Is it the coach, the coordinators, players, offense, locker room,
Hmm.
camaraderie? What makes or breaks a program?
It's a little bit of all of it, but it starts with the
Mhm,
coach. I'm a coach, so I know when I took over Bridgeport, it was a poor culture. I had to come
mhm,
in and ground up, build from the foundation. You got to gut it out and get kids to buy into it. I used to tell
mhm,
people it's like being a used car salesman. You got to be
mhm,
able to talk that talk, but you got to be able to walk that walk with it. And
mhm,
once the kids see you invested, then I believe kids start coming around, and that's what we did. My first year we struggled, but I had a lot of kids who wasn't about winning. Then the next year, I knew my middle schoolers was coming, and I knew I said, "Well, we got something." And
mhm.
after 1 year with them, we changed. Other people start seeing the change, and we was the second team to take Bridgeport to the playoffs in the school history. A lot of people don't know that, but yeah, they only
Yeah.
went to the playoffs in '88, and then we
Mhm.
took them in 2017. Yeah.
Ah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's cool. So here's the thing: when you have a player that's a standout, because you can identify the one that's just a little bit, they're just a little bit
Mm-hmm.
more gifted than the others. How do you get it to? Do you get them use that player to bring the team to where they are, or do you kind of just try to mold that player to go to where the team is,
I'm gonna
so
be
that the team blends?
I'll be honest, you use him to a certain extent, but at the same time, you got to also treat him just like the rest
Mhm,
of them. Because
mhm,
a lot of them, they get that I'm this, nah.
mhm,
And I'm kind of old school coach, so I used to go after my star players harder than
mhm,
I went after the other players because I
mhm.
wanted them to see, man, if he can get on him, I got to straighten up.
Right.
And I got a couple nephews that can attest to that because they used to want to quit every week, but I had to
Mhm.
tell them, it's not about y'all. It's about building everybody around y'all.
Right.
And, so that's what my goal was as a coach. I attacked the main player. I was harder on the main player.
I
And
I hear you. Keep going. Keep going.
No, and I just say, but it worked though because then he started complaining to the other kids, like, man, I'm tired of coach, that's and that. But at the same time, they're like, well, he just trying to help you. So now they helping him, and it worked. I mean, I done
Mhm.
been to the point where I didn't kick them out of practice. I don't care who you is, go home. You know, But I rode with you.
Mhm.
Find a way home. We'll talk tomorrow. But I've been that
Mhm.
way. I've been
I
that way. I think all my life.
I've seen players and most people who know me know I couldn't stand the Patriots. Still ain't no,
Mm.
cause couldn't
No,
stand them.
me neither.
Belichick,
Me
Brady, no,
neither.
oh my God. But when I saw other players say how hard Belichick went in on Brady, when it's their
Mm-hmm.
turn, like what can you really say? If he go that hard
Yep.
on the quarterback, he goes
Yep.
that hard on the GOAT, how can you really come back and say, you don't,
And
so
that's where I learned a lot of that from like John Thompson, Bobby
mhm,
Knight. He
Yeah.
used to actually call me the Black Bobby Knight. you know,
Ooh. You ain't throw
yeah,
chairs, did you?
I just didn't throw a chair till almost my last year coaching. A referee got me to that point, and he cussed at me. I'm talking to another ref, and I was wrong getting on that ref, but he came across in beeline, and he started cussing at me. And you're not gonna cuss at me, man. I'm a grown
Right.
man.
Right.
And I grabbed the chair, and my coach caught me. I was like, "You can't do that. You want to coach again?" So I got ejected, and it was cool though. But I was mad at that referee. So
Yeah.
long
So you.
story to say though, I bumped into him at Beef O'Brady, and he bought me a
Mhm.
drink, and because he knew he was wrong,
Yeah.
because I was still mad at him too then, and it was
Were
months
you?
past. Oh yeah, you disrespected me, so I
Yeah.
don't take that very well. You know.
Yeah. You let it. You
Mm-hmm.
got to bring it back around. Hold that.
Yeah.
Okay. So speaking of staffing and coaching, let's tap into the Michigan. And
We.
the latest program to don't go down because of the leader. That's your team. Where the flag at? That flag on now.
Oh, they everywhere. I ain't gonna even lie to you. Look.
Oh,
Okay. Hey, I'm go blue for life.
I
You
hear
know.
you because I feel that way about state.
Hmm.
Go green, go white.
Yep.
That was
Oh
where I
yeah.
started in college. I didn't finish there, but I started there. So that's
Yeah.
gonna be go green, go white for
Oh
forever.
yeah.
So this is
I
the
feel
latest
you.
one. So for those who don't know,
Hmm.
I don't know who don't, but I got made
Mm-hmm.
sure I made a note. For those who don't know, the coach had a 2-year affair with a
Mm-hmm.
staffer, and there was alleged history of violence. And I found this quote, and it says, here's the quote from not from the coach, but I saw this on another podcast where the host said, and the sad part is too, there's a lot of good people out there that do get married. And then, like you said,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes other people do dumb shit to mess it all up for real. You know who said that?
Mm-hmm. Who was that?
You. That's a
Oh
quote from
wow.
you. That's
I
your
remember
quote.
that last week.
You said it last week.
Last week. You're right, because that was the first time I really discussed it when a guy on the podcast asked me.
Hmm.
And I just had a conversation with my cousin and her husband Christmas night about it. And I got that he did a dumb thing.
Hmm.
But then I sit back and I realized too, I
Hmm.
really think it was an inside job.
Hmm.
That's the other part of it I haven't discussed.
You sure haven't. Do tell.
Oh yeah. Well, that's been going on 2 years.
Mhm.
His wife knew about it for 2 years.
Mm.
All of a sudden, things come out. I think we lost to USC. It was
Mhm.
rumors about it. They swept it under the rug. We lost to Oklahoma. It came back out. Then there was a Michigan State quarterback tweeted about it, probably about a week before the Ohio State game. So now
Really?
all this time, Connor Cook, he tweeted about it. So now all this time, this
They knew.
university knew about all this stuff.
Mhm.
But it's okay. We got to get it. Michigan, Michigan. You know how
Mhm.
them big dogs do.
Mhm. Mhm.
And next thing you know, we lose that game to that team down there. Now, I don't want to say their
Buckeyes.
name. Yeah, whatever. My
Oh.
son, I don't like them. But
Oh.
we lose that game. Now all of a sudden, bam, here it come. Front
Mhm.
news. You know, he
Yeah.
wrong. Don't get me wrong for what he
Mhm.
did. You
Mhm.
married, you got kids, man, and
Mhm.
I listened to Dr. Umar. What's his name?
Dr.
Dr.
Umar
Umar.
Johnson.
Ooh, he put a
I
whole
agree
different
with
perspective
with
on it.
95%. In all honesty, this might be controversial. Sometimes when I listen to Dr. Umar, I agree with pretty much 95% of what he says.
Well,
I really
this
does.
was my second time listening to him last night.
Oh, really?
And I had to, it was funny because he couldn't get his name right. He kept calling him Sharon, whatever. But, but that's what made me think of that inside theory, what he said. Because how
Mhm.
come his wife never called the police when he threatened her, they say.
Mhm.
But soon as the lawyer, the girlfriend or the mistress called the
Mhm.
lawyer calls the police, then the lawyer calls the wife and the police. Then the wife called the police. That make you wonder.
Oh, I didn't
It
know that
could
part.
be. Yeah, that's what I got from Dr. Johnson last night.
Thank
you
you,
know.
Umar.
Oh my,
Yeah,
yeah. So
he does
he
his
was
due
deep.
diligence when he dig around.
So
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's wrong. And my problem is that I'm a Michigan, long lifetime Michigan
Mhm,
fan.
mhm,
You're the
mhm,
first black coach we ever had, which
mhm.
is history. And
Yeah,
I don't think we'll ever have another one
I
because of that
said that.
moment. Yep, they won't give
It'll
him
be
another chance.
if ever. It'll be a long time,
Yep,
if ever.
yep.
I know that was a debate between Ryan Clark on the pivot and Uncle Luke about it
Hmm.
setting us back, but it kind of is a setback.
It kind of
It is
did.
a
I
setback.
disagree with Luke the way he came at Ryan because Ryan was
Right,
right in so many ways,
right,
you know. And and I'm a fan, so you
right,
know, I had dreams about being the coach at Michigan. I'm not the head coach, but one of them
right.
coaches on
But
the
just being on the
sideline one
staff,
day.
right. Mhm,
Yeah, and I just believe they're gonna always look at you sideways, just like
mhm,
they done Mel Tucker. You know,
mhm.
they done the coach. Well, he back coaching again from
Ime
Houston
Udoka.
Rockets.
Ime
Yeah,
Udoka. Yeah.
yeah, I can't say his name, but
Oh,
he
I had
back
all that in my
coaching.
notes.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so that was a good thing.
Yeah.
But then on the
Yeah.
flip end, you got other coaches that done it that they back coaching again,
Petrino
and some of them,
on the
Pacino,
motorcycle accident.
yep, and Urban Meyer,
Herb Meyer.
they
Mhm.
want him to be. Well, he went to the NFL, but they wanted him to be Michigan coach, which I thought would have been
Mhm.
crazy. I might have
Right.
hung up my I might have hung up my Michigan gear if he coached us. I'm
Say
sorry.
our enemies in the camp. Our enemy is in
Yeah,
the
we can't.
camp.
He coming to destroy us.
But here's the thing that right, because he'll forever always have that loyalty, not to Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what I found interesting in doing some research. Brian Smith, I don't know if you heard this story. Brian Smith was the head coach for football for Ohio University. The
Mm.
exact same day, I think it's December 10th or December 12th, when Sharon Moore was going through his issue, Brian Moore was let go as the head coach for their football program for having an affair with an undergraduate student.
Wow.
Wasn't aware. He was living in a hotel. One of the parents of the player saw the
Mm.
undergraduate student go into his hotel room, called the university. He was let go.
Mm.
Very little, if no, fuss
Never
was
heard.
made about it. Now, I look at it like, is it because Michigan is a bigger program?
Mm-hmm.
Or here's a question: in your opinion, did race play a factor in this? Because, like we just discussed, Petrino had an opportunity, Urban Meyer still had an
Mm-hmm.
opportunity, but Mel Tucker hasn't. Ime Udoka
Mm-hmm.
did. He went from the Celtics over to Houston.
Mm-hmm.
But in your opinion,
Oh, I
did it play a role?
I believe race played a big role in it. Cause I'm gonna be honest with you. You let that been an African American woman messing with a white coach. They would have told that woman, hey, you knew what you
Hush.
were doing. Be quiet. We'll
Mhm,
destroy you.
mhm,
Dr. Ume said that again. And
mhm,
I believe that.
mhm,
I believe that. Because it has happened to African American women
mhm,
in the world of sports.
mhm,
And they've been put to the side,
mhm,
and now you get a chance, you go after these brothers and they make a mockery out of them,
mhm,
and they did, without the important thing, like with Coach Moore. I'm gonna always call him Coach because I
mhm,
had the luxury when he was at Central Michigan going
mhm,
down there and spending the night with not a whole night, but like we
mhm,
went to a coaching clinic, and he
mhm.
was a coach, and I was in his group,
Right. So he
and
was Coach Moore.
yeah, he was Coach Moore,
Mhm,
and he was one of the most squared away, respectful men and
mhm,
coaches that I ever worked with for
mhm.
those hours I was up at Mount Pleasant, you know, and so it's sad that they drug him in the mud like that. My thing is that's between him, his wife, and God,
Mhm.
and if his
I
wife gonna stay there, that's on her.
I had before this interview, it hasn't came out yet. I have an interview that's coming out on this Tuesday that I interviewed with my
Okay,
cousin, Coach Delaney. He used to coach Clark Atlanta University girls basketball in Southeast
okay,
Louisiana. He coached girls basketballs on a collegiate level, and so we had this conversation in my recording in the podcast with him. And he explained about it because I was saying about the clause, because I used to think that too. Oh, it's a setup that's in the clause. What I wasn't aware of why that clause is in the coaches it's in their contract because if at any given point a staffer, a student, any female can exclaim they were SA'd or raped
mm-hmm,
because I know you can't say certain things raped in the process. they can now come after the university. Press charge. That's
Mm,
criminal on the university. So even though we
mm,
look at it as like, oh, that's an extramarital affair, the clause is because a woman can claim some type of
mm.
criminal conduct, even if it's considered consensual. If she says it was criminal, the university is now liable for charges or whatever. And I'm like,
Wow.
oh, now I
Mm,
understand the contract.
yeah.
But I asked him, did the players have a code of conduct agreement that they had to sign saying they couldn't mess with
Yeah.
staffers or coach? He said no.
See,
I said they can't.
it's
He said
a
no,
it's
no.
a double-edged sword though in that world. It is,
Right,
and
right.
it's sad though because you still got to know what's right from wrong. Because I even thought about that. Like, man, she still got her job.
Mhm,
you know. And it should have
mhm,
been a red flag anyway when you
mhm.
go from so much to almost tripled your salary in 1 year.
For the same job.
Where they getting paid more than some of the
Mhm,
coordinators and the
mhm,
coaches. That was
mhm,
a red flag anyway.
mhm,
So I think all of them dropped the ball from Michigan,
mhm.
especially that AD. Now, I don't know how he's still hanging around with all the crap he done been through with Harbaugh, now more,
I
and who knows
know.
what else. So
I
I hate they
know.
bought a bad rap to Michigan, but hey, Michigan
I
ain't no
mean,
different from
it was
everybody
their
else.
term, right? It was just their
Yep,
term. It was Mel Tucker a couple years ago, and his was
yep,
bad too, and especially
yeah.
because the person that his case was that
Hmm.
cost him his career, that was her specialty about
Mm-hmm.
working with athletes who are inappropriately approached or sexually assaulted or things like that's
Yeah,
her specialty, and that's who you
yeah,
chose to go
yeah.
off the
That
rail.
I didn't understand that one either, though. You know,
Right.
but I
I
don't know what
didn't.
be in these guys' mind. But at the same time, as a coach, and I coached
Hmm.
females before,
Hmm.
you have to walk a tight line being a male coach when you coaching females.
Hmm.
I brought on female assistant coaches because I never went in locker rooms before games until they were all dressed. I
Right.
definitely didn't go after the game while, they were changing.
Right.
Sometimes we'd meet in the hallway and we would
Right.
talk. But I always had a female coach with me because I never wanted to be caught up in those situations. Never took girls home.
Right.
One time I think I had to have my wife drive up to the school because the girl didn't have a ride
Mhm.
and say, "Hey, I need you to take her home," and I followed them with her taking her home for me.
Yeah.
Because I never wanted none of that on me. I
Right.
got daughters and nieces, and I don't play that crap.
Because even the look of it, just the optics of it looks bad.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
Yep.
I ain't gonna bring that one situation up, never mind.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
which leads me to this question. Um, Joya, please don't get mad at me for asking this question. Please, please, please. I hope your wife don't get mad at me for asking this question. But
Nah.
as a coach, have you ever been in a position where you had to speak with parents? And a lot of times because you coach basketball, football, there's some single moms, and they're the main supporters
Mm-hmm.
of the kids. It's
Mm-hmm.
well known you're happily married, but sometimes there are those who chose to ignore that fact. So, Joya, please don't get mad at me for this question. I promise this is for educational
Woo.
purpose. I even wrote it down.
Hmm.
If women have attempted this, has a person ever tried to put themselves in a position to cross a line with you? And if so, how did you, because that was my main purpose of this, how did you
Hmm.
establish that boundary? Now, I'm not talking player, but a boundary with a parent or
Hmm.
staffer to let them know I'm married and keep that boundary solid without crossing a line and making them feel offended where they'll flip it on you and go like, that's not what I was saying. I wasn't flirting with you. But how did you
Hmm.
ever have to do that?
Woo. Yeah. Yeah. Several times.
This where the educational
Um.
purpose come in. As a
Yep.
coach, how do you do that?
And wow, it was tough. I'm be
Hmm.
honest with you, because some of them are very aggressive,
I've
you
heard.
know,
I've
and
heard.
you a man, oh man, that's
Hmm.
cool, but at the same time, you got to think about what's at home.
Right.
Now, I ain't gonna say I always been perfect, cause no, I haven't.
Right.
We in our 32 years, we done been
Hmm.
down them roads, and
Hmm.
we discussed that on our podcast. So it's
Hmm.
just the biggest thing is what I learned, and I learned this from the great Coach T, may he rest in peace.
Yeah, Coach T.
Always have a witness. When I
Yeah.
was younger, I never had that. because I'm
'Cause
just I'm coach, ain't nobody.
right,
But
right.
then when people start saying things, or he
Mhm,
said this to me, or this and that, like I actually saved a couple coaches' job by being a witness to them meeting with a
mhm,
parent, and the
mhm,
parent went back and flipped the script on them. And
mhm,
and I done had it happen to her myself. But
mhm,
at the same time, it's a hard one. I can't lie to you,
mhm,
you know. And it was worse in my younger days as a coach,
mhm.
especially when I coached like AAU, because like you said, all I dealt with was
Moms, single moms.
single moms, and
Mhm,
and I used to always like, nah, I got a wife at home,
mhm,
or I got a
mhm, mhm,
girlfriend. Ah, it's okay. Mm-mm.
mhm,
I'm here for
mhm,
your son to coach your child,
mhm.
not to have a relationship with you.
Right, right.
And then you'll get some women that offer other things because they couldn't
Mhm,
pay the fees or whatever.
mhm,
And you
mhm,
just had to be headstrong and pray, and and
mhm.
just know, in my case, it was like, I got a good thing at home. I ain't finna blow
Right,
it for this,
right,
So
right.
as a coach, that's a tough one,
Mhm,
and I tell
mhm,
any coach today, one, make sure you got somebody with you when you're talking to a parent,
mhm,
whether it's a male or a female,
mhm.
because you might think I'm wrong, but it's some men out there that's worse than the women.
I believe it.
And trust me, I done been there where a couple, I
Mhm.
wanted to reach across the desk and put my hands on them, but I couldn't, but it is,
You could, but it'd been a
but
problem afterwards.
yeah, it'd have been a problem
Right.
afterwards, but
Yeah.
that's a tough line there though. But I
Yeah.
see it, I have seen it, been a
Mhm.
part of it, been around it, and some people do good by it, some fail, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Cause it's right. Cause I
uh-uh.
had this question. Cause in watching it and having been a mom and being a single mom where I had to take my son to practice and stuff. Not that I ever try to approach a coach or anything, but I mean I know that there are women who look for opportunities and being
Mm-hmm.
married does not mean anything anymore to a lot of these women. Like
Mm-mm.
you say, some of them are very
Mm-mm.
aggressive. They're very
Mm-hmm.
persistent. I even asked this question of a friend. He's not even a coach, but he's just a male boss. And I
Mm.
asked him, how do you toe the line where you solidify a boundary that's not to be crossed with women? He said, but you have to toe the line real carefully because,
Mm-hmm.
like he said, if he says, oh, I'm not interested in you like that, I'm not flirting, and they'll go, oh, well, I wasn't flirting with you. Oh, that must be what you're
Mm-hmm.
thinking.
Yep.
So he said he never talked to them with his door closed. It's
Mm.
always open door, always. And
Yeah.
I mean, in corporate America, you can't always just have somebody come sit in and talk to me. But he said he just makes sure that he's kind of firm, but not too assertive in turning down
Mm-hmm.
an offer. But I think just as coaches, because you encounter more, and then look, no pun intended, with more, a line crossed at some point.
Yeah.
A line crossed at some point. At
Oh
some
yeah.
point, someone said something that crossed the line. And as a coach, how do you give that pushback?
Oh yeah. And it's there. I'll be honest, it's there, and like I said, I'm a man and I'm human.
Yeah,
You fall, but you gotta know how to get back up and
right,
steer that ship back right,
right.
because it can blow up to be something more. Dang, I go more intended.
More pun intended, no pun intended.
Man, no pun intended. Sorry,
Sometimes you just
coach.
gotta tuck and run. Sometimes you gotta tuck and run. No pun
That's right.
intended, Tucker.
That's right.
All right.
Hmm.
Thank you for I've been wanting to get into that. So now let me thank Joy. I had to ask the question. Joy, I want her to come on also because I know I have said this before. Like she's talked about some of her health battles, and I would love for
Mm-hmm.
her to come on to talk about some of the health battles she's went through and how
Mm-hmm.
we as women need to identify those types of things that occur where our health is off, but we're thinking like, is this normal? Is it not
Yeah.
normal? When do we go to the doctor? When do we listen to our bodies, or
Yeah.
when do we just kind of ignore the signs? So
Yeah.
speaking
And
of
I'm
joy,
trying to get her. I'm trying
are
to get
you?
her back to do that show. Ever since you came on my podcast and we talked, and I'm
Mhm.
trying to get her to, but she be giving me a lot of pushback, you know. But
Yeah,
she's
that's
doing
okay.
a lot of her online teaching stuff, so
Mhm.
that takes a lot of her time.
Mhm.
But we gonna get her back in 26. We'll get it back.
I'm glad you said that because that's the perfect segue of speaking of Joya. Let's speak on
Hmm.
the Marshall Mediaverse, which has the
All
Mr. and
right.
Mrs. Marshall podcast, More Than a Coach, DJ Kev, Mrs. G, Learning Time Online Pre-K. Did I miss any?
Um, just the photography now with that. I
Photography.
tried
Marshall
to do
Media.
my grandbaby's show, but
Hmm.
they didn't cooperate. It's whenever they want to. So, you know, whenever they come around, I just pick up a camera and start recording them if they doing crazy stuff. But they ain't serious about it. But
Yeah, it was
no, but that's it right now. And I will be producing 3 podcasts with different people coming up in 2026. So
I love that.
yeah.
I
Mm-hmm.
love that. I
Yeah.
see how you and Yet are expanding. Like I know,
Yeah.
yeah, I see Yet now has Cat. Hey Cat, hey Yet.
Mm-hmm. Oh
Expanding
yeah.
out where
Yep.
I think that's really great because I know he had
It
said he thought
is.
about doing a co-host, but I know those two, how they navigate talking with the young and
Mm-hmm.
upcoming artists and things like
Yeah.
that. I think that's outstanding.
Yep.
I've already reached out to them too to have them in there, have them record
Okay.
2026
Yeah.
because
Yeah, because they
outstanding.
doing a good thing, and I love the fact that they reaching out to the youth and the
Mhm.
music scene here in
Yeah.
Saginaw.
Mhm.
And it's people I didn't even know. It's matter of fact, they just had about 3 people on their show that I coached football and basketball. Didn't even know they was into the music business like that. And I had
Really?
to hit them up and say, man, I ain't know you be rapping. Yeah, coach, you never let me. I said, oh man, you know I ain't like y'all crap y'all be listening. But yeah, so I love the direction that Yacht going,
Mhm.
what he's doing. So I think it's powerful. And Kat always just something about her. She got that energy like
Mhm.
yourself, and y'all
Mhm.
bring something different.
Plus,
So
she's an artist
hey,
herself. So, I
that's right.
mean, you tune into her social media, Catherine Rivers or Cat Chronicles. You never know
Yeah.
if it's her performing or if she's promoting another artist. She might be rapping
Mm-hmm.
or singing. I saw her do a song that was hers, and she sang and rapped. She rapped and sang the hook,
Mm,
her own song. I
man,
said, I
that's
don't know if
something.
this is a R&B song with a rap in it or it's a rap song with an R&B hook. She said that's how she intended it, and I was like, "That's skill.
Okay.
That's
Yeah, that's
skill."
skill.
I
That's
I
good.
can't rap. I was one of them choir nerds. But in looking at it, I see it. And speaking about the Marshall Mediaverse, I know 2 weeks ago, Charlemagne the God signed this big $200 million deal
Mm,
where he has Black Effect podcast, and I mean he has a ton of podcasts with
mm-hmm.
iHeart with that. And looking at that, is that, and you just said how you're going to start producing other shows. Is that
Mm-hmm.
how the direction you want to go in now, where
Yep.
you want to expand the Marshall Mediaverse?
Yep. That's my goal for the future. Looking into next season, next year,
Hmm.
getting a studio, moving it
Yeah.
from where I'm at now in my basement to a studio. And that way I can bring in more people and start giving people opportunity, because I
Yeah.
done had conversations with like 5 different people, and they all
Hmm.
got the ideas, but a lot of them be scared to jump off the bridge and
Right.
go for it.
Right.
And like one guy, he was like, I got a thing, but I don't want to be on video. I said, well, you don't have to be on video. I said, and I told him, I
Mm-mm.
said, man, pick up that phone and press record.
Mhm.
That's how I started
Mhm.
dealing with my depression with my
Mhm.
dad. I picked up my phone sitting in the basement in the dark talking. Then I just got
Mm.
to heart one day and put it on Podbean and took off from there. You
That was
know.
the question that was my next question. What made you decide to get into media? So it was sparked by a depression that you were going through, and
Hmm.
it was just you talking?
Yep. It was like I pick up my phone every day and hit record, and I was just having conversations with my dad. My dad
Mm.
died like 4 years ago, and that's like
I'm
my
sorry.
everything.
Mhm.
So and that's when my coaching started kind of declining because I really wasn't in it no more. And
I'm out.
then one day it just like hit me. It's like, man, just talk to him. And 'cause I
Mhm.
used to call his phone until my sister got it
Somebody took the
disconnected.
number. Oh, okay.
And yeah, so I used to call it just to leave a message. And I know, he would
Mhm.
never answer. But that's what I started with, talking on the
Mhm.
phone, just dealing with my depression, what I was going through, and started the podcast from it.
And
So
decided to take it up. Did you initially start audio? Was it just the audio when you first
yep,
started too?
yep,
Okay.
just audio on Podbean. Cause I just being in front of a camera, that wasn't me. And then I started looking. I was like, you know what? the hell with it. I coach. I be in front of people all the time. So my first one was kind of like messed up, because I really didn't want to do it. But
Mhm.
after that, now it's like every day getting up, training
Mhm.
again. So I love
Mhm.
it now.
So you
Yep.
found a groove because I knew my consistency needs to be improved. It really does. I
Hmm.
just yesterday cataloged all of my excuse me, cataloged all of my episodes, and my entire first season, I had 21 episodes, all audio, and then they start to deplete. Then second season, I think I had maybe 10 or 8, and it went down.
Hmm.
I'm getting back on it now. The traction is picking back up. I'm getting back
Yeah.
in it too. But how do you remain consistent? Like, how do you stay motivated to do it every
Ooh.
week? And you have more
I'll
than
be
one.
I'll be honest with you. I didn't hit the wall several times. Like a lot of times
Really?
when you see us gone for a while and
Mhm,
we'll come back, we've
mhm,
been lifing. I just wasn't feeling it. I didn't. I'm like you. I didn't have the motivation.
mhm,
You know,
mhm,
I knew what I wanted to do, but I just
mhm,
wouldn't come down here and do it. But now it's like ever since I had surgery, I'm not working. I was like, man, you know what? It's time to grind again. And so, like, you
mhm,
gotta get up, doom, doom, start doing everything, writing, planning, prepping,
mhm,
and like the music thing, that just started. I'm a music guy. I love music.
mhm, so,
That's what calmed me,
mhm.
So I went live for the first time on Christmas Eve. That was the first time I ever went live playing music. Normally, I just
Really?
do it behind the scenes. Yeah, I get on TikTok and make a clip just
Yeah.
so get traction on it. But that was the actually first time I went live on Christmas Eve, and I got a lot of great reviews and like people like,
Yeah.
man, you got to come on Mo. So yeah, I'm gonna pick that back up and do it more. And that's gonna be out throughout the week, and then I'm gonna go back to my old school cleanup Saturday mornings or my
Amen.
Southern soul, you know. But yeah, so that's it's just something that I love to do, and I'm thankful and blessed that I can do it.
Mhm.
You
'Cause it
know,
gives me
I
I
thought I
listen to
was
it in
going
work sometimes. When
appreciate it. I thought I
mhm.
was gonna lose my voice after the surgery, and I'm like, man, I ain't gonna have my radio voice no more,
Aw, but
because
it's
they
good.
had to move stuff over, and they
Okay.
told me that I was gonna probably have some issues talking, but God good.
All the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
man, don't he be knowing what he doing? Woo. So,
Mm-hmm.
which one came first? Which show came first?
It
More
was
Than a
more than a
Coach, or
coach.
it was More Than a Coach?
Yep. More than a
Okay.
coach. Yeah.
'Cause I think
Yep.
the first one I heard, I think Tyrus had told me about the Mr. and Mrs. Marshall podcast. So I was thinking
Yep.
like that one came first.
Oh, I had did like 2 seasons of More Than a Coach, and then one day I was sitting out, hit a
Mhm.
wall, didn't know
Mhm.
what to talk about no more. I done interviewed all these people, and something was like, "Go get your wife and see if she want to talk about a relationship." So I had to con her into doing it. And she was like, "I don't want to do it, but all the time we talking, I'm recording already." And she didn't know. I
Oh.
even got her. I even got her rapping on the first episode. 'Cause I played some music and she was trying to rap. She thinks she
Mhm.
can rap. But yeah, so hmm so that was
Really?
it. More than a coach, and then like you said, after season 2, that's when Mr. and Mrs. Marshall podcast started. We just started being transparent about our relationship
Mhm.
and trying to help other people.
I love
Yep.
the friendship that you all display. I have a friend, and he and I often talk about other people's relation. Not talk about other people's relationship, but we'll look at some of the things that they put up on social media. And I have this
hmm
saying: I love for a man to love out loud. I love when a man
hmm
loves the woman that he's with out loud. Like my
hmm
wife showed appreciation posts or birthdays or when they're on vacation, and it's him doing the post because women often. I've spoken on this. Women use social media differently than men, and women are often usually
hmm
more visible with their relationship on social media than men are. But when a
That's
man
true.
does it, it's beautiful. But I love how
Hmm.
you all are friends, where even if you say something totally out of pocket, her reaction is so mellow. She'll just go,
hmm Yo,
she'll
you see
look,
them
or
looks, huh?
yeah.
Yeah, I hear about it every now and then. I'm actually putting together a compilation of all her crazy looks because a couple of the viewers, they always like, man, I know you was in trouble after that show. I'm like, she know how I am, but
Right.
I
Right.
try to
It's
be
not
the
a
life of
bad,
the
but she's just
party.
like, yeah,
Yeah,
it
you
is.
know,
It goes well together.
yep, but
It goes very well together.
yep. And we grew. Trust me, we grew
Mhm.
from me being a selfish man, had to
Mhm.
learn how to be married to
Mhm.
now having to
It's
share
young.
everything with this woman.
Yeah.
So I'm not scared to tell everybody I was not the best husband. Probably the
Mhm.
first 5 years I married, and
Mhm.
but I was blessed that something happened to me medically,
Mhm.
and when I woke up, she was right there.
Mhm.
So I knew then and there, you better do what's right, boy, before you lose it.
You don't know what
So
you don't know, though. That's what I often
that's
look
right.
at because I have a niece, and her and her husband been together a few years, and some of the stuff she
Hmm.
tells me when they have a disagreement, I said, "But you don't know what that looks like." I, I
Hmm.
I told her you have to change your pronouns. You have to get rid of
Hmm.
the I and me to we. Everything is
That's right.
our and we. Any
Yep.
decision you're going to make, you have to think like, okay, what will he think? Because you don't make
Yep.
the decision without them. And I think a lot of people just don't know. They don't know what I say marriage looks like. Or if
Hmm.
they do, especially with this younger generation, they're getting
Man.
the image from social media or reality shows and not
Hmm.
knowing that that's entertainment.
That's entertainment. It's not
That's
real.
entertainment. They
Yep.
don't know what it looks like. But I love how you all do this. Okay, so I know
Appreciate
because I'm getting to it because I've learning also to
it.
keep my podcast about an hour. So do you worry about no, let's skip the question. What has been your biggest challenge so far in the Marshall Mediaverse?
um, because a lot of it is me doing the producing, the promoting, the
Mhm.
editing. So that's been a
Mhm.
lot of it.
Mhm.
I had somebody that was in there with me, but they didn't work like I worked, so it
Mhm.
didn't work.
Everybody can see
I
your
believe
vision.
if I'm gonna build this, I'm gonna build it. I tease my kids all the time, like, y'all ain't gonna help me with the cameras, y'all ain't gonna do this, do that. All right, when it blow up, I don't want to hear from them. They all like, oh yeah, we'll be there. So
They
that's
will
that's probably
then.
been the yeah, but that's probably been the hardest part though, is just having that consistency, and
Mhm.
now having that consistency, somebody helping you,
Mhm.
because I wear probably about 10 hats,
Mhm.
and I just learned to prioritize them, whatever that word is,
Right.
and do it that way. Like I get up on Sunday mornings, and it's always about me enjoy your podcast.
Mhm.
You know, Saturday sometime it's the music shows, and then throughout the week I do a little bit of everything. And now I've been into this photography stuff, so I'm getting ready to do an all picture book about Saginaw.
Oh, I like
Yeah, and
that.
it's
That's
called
nice.
it's called Through the Eyes of a Camera from Coach Marshall. And I just went around the city of Saginaw, just
Mhm.
taking pictures in all kind of neighborhoods, buildings,
Mhm.
and it's real good.
Mhm.
So I'm editing all that, and it's gonna be all black and white. There'll be no color pictures in it,
Mhm.
because I'm it's something about the black and white pictures that
Mhm.
you know.
Mhm.
So
You
that's
focus on
what.
the detail of the actual image as opposed to the colors. You're not
Hmm.
distracted by the colors. Mhm.
Yep. So that's something that I've been working on since I had surgery, and getting it all prepped out, and hopefully by March it'll be out.
I
Yep.
look forward to that. I'll be
Oh
keeping
yeah.
staying posted on it.
All
Do
right.
you worry about getting lost in the sea of podcasts? Because I looked this up, and as of September of
Hmm.
2025, there are 4.5 million podcasts worldwide. Now you got one, two, three. You got four. I got one. Do you
Man,
worry? I mean, you got a little more water in yours, and I got in mine so,
well,
in your
I tell
podcast.
you what, more than the coach, I be worried about it, and sometimes I think about rebranding it, because the other day I was on
Ooh.
Spotify, and I just typed in more than the coach, and not knowing, I had three different more than the coach podcast accounts on there. So I'm like, man, all of them ain't getting the same videos. But then the flip end, there was 20 podcasts called More Than a Coach. I was tripping out like,
What?
oh yeah, but they all different. That was what was crazy. All of them was on different stuff. I
Yeah.
think I was the only one that was universal on everything. Because that's what really More Than a
Wow.
Coach about. I ain't just about sports.
Mhm.
I'm about life,
Mhm.
relationships, music, whatever, business. So
Mhm.
I'm thinking about rebranding it and changing that up to something. I don't know yet. I'm
I
gonna
just
toss a
did
coin and
that.
see.
I hear I went through a whole campaign. I mean, Kevin, I
Hmm.
went through a whole campaign, videos. I was starting to change the names, create an email because of dick in conversation because of the name, and and a friend of mine. He's a friend.
Hmm.
He's kind of like a consultant. He is very much. I give him all the credit in the world. He is very much an outside of the box thinker. He really is. He's
Hmm.
extremely outside the box. Excellent forethought. And he was saying, like, the name is problematic. He was like, if you think about at some point you want to get corporate sponsors from a large corporation, don't you worry about them being turned off by the name. And I thought, like, and then, my mom, people have come to my mom and say, oh, what do you feel about the name of the podcast? And, she was a pastor's daughter. She shouldn't have that name. And I went through a whole thing of changing, like, okay, yep, it's not just about me dating anymore. It's about other things.
Hmm.
And I had went to go change the conversations with Alyssa. And even when I interviewed Shay, I called it Conversations with Alyssa, but my spirit just wasn't right. Like from the moment I said, let me
Hmm.
change it and rebrand it, it just didn't settle right. Conversations with
Hmm.
Alyssa, there was nothing special about it. It was nothing I wanted
Yeah.
to change. And then there were
Yep.
a few people who inboxed me or messaged me and said, don't change the name. One was
Yeah.
Danye. Shout out,
Yeah.
it's something every yay podcast. Thank you.
Yep.
And he was like, it's ear catching, but it's not, you don't promote ratchetness. I remember him saying
Exactly.
that, like, you would think
Yep.
from the name, it's all these little dirty tales. And I mean, that is that one episode, but it's,
Hmm.
it's not
But
ratchet. It's not
nah.
about ratchetness or about being
And
dirty and swinging from the chandelier. So I decided I'm not changing it.
nope. And I think personally, your name is attracting and attract
It's
the
ear catching.
just a random user. They don't.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what is this? And bam. Because when I first heard it, I was like, what?
What
Matter of
is
fact, I
this?
don't know if you remember when I
Oh, I
had
do.
all the lady podcasts on, I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't even say dick in
I
conversation. I would
know.
be like D in conversations, but I mean, I'm like, but it was, and when you told me the meaning behind it, I
Mm-hmm.
felt real strong about it. And I'm like, nah, that's
Mm-hmm.
good. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that, and that's the only thing that keep me about the more than the coach, because I've always been more than just a
You've
coach.
more than a coach.
And so
Mm-hmm.
okay, it might be 20 other more than the coach, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm me and they ain't me.
Right.
So, so
Right.
yeah, you gotta keep that. And when I look at rebranding, there's other little things, like I did think about changing the Mr. and Mrs. Marshall podcast
Mm-hmm.
to adult conversations,
Mm-hmm.
but then I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, then I'm taking me and Joy identity away.
Right.
That's what we
Right.
known for. We was
Right.
in the store Christmas Eve and somebody was like, "Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Marshall podcast."
Mm-hmm.
And Joy was
Mm-hmm.
like, "Dang, she listened to the show." I said, "Babe,
Mm-hmm.
it's people listen."
Mm-hmm.
We get weirdos on there too now.
Mm-hmm.
I had to always block them from their comments sometimes, but for the most part, no, stay true to what we do and what we believe in. I love it.
Yeah. That's why I could
I
never
love it.
go live. I always give
Hmm.
Shay and Kat all the kudos in the world, and astonishing figures for going live, because I need to have a little bit
Yeah.
of control just in case a
Yeah.
weirdo come in. Like,
Oh,
nah,
trust
I
me.
can't. You've had us
Trust me.
like that?
Oh my, Christmas Eve. Now, I was live on YouTube, but I also
Mhm.
was streaming live on TikTok. And Lord
Oh,
have mercy.
yeah,
I said, in
TikTok
my
can really
head, I'm
be
like,
different.
I said, I never go back on TikTok live. I was blocking and banning so many people that I kind of got offended by a couple of them. I even made a comment on the show, and I was like, hey, keep it
I did
PG
hear
and
that.
keep it cool.
I did hear that. I was in the
Don't,
bathroom. I did hear that.
yeah,
Oh,
don't
that's
make
what
me.
happened.
Yeah, I was like, somebody gonna make me get off my square and go back to the old me, you know. And it was just unnecessary.
Mhm.
I'm in the Christmas spirit. I'm having a good
Right.
time,
Mhm.
and they come in here with this BS and
Mhm.
from racial stuff to other stuff. I'm like,
Mhm.
no, and I hurry up and delete them comments and ban them so it don't everybody can't see it. But
Wow.
sometimes live is good, sometimes it's bad. Like I think 2 weeks ago, me and Joya, we was live and we was
Mhm.
ending, but the computer wouldn't shut down. And I forgot to take the mics off. So her
You on a
friend
hot
texted like,
mic.
I can still hear y'all. But I'm so glad we weren't talking nothing crazy and didn't say nothing bad. She was just like, why it won't go off? And I'm like, I don't know what's going on with this damn thing.
It's a
But I'm like,
lag.
whoo. So now I'll be like, I'm on it a little quicker now. But first thing when we end the show, the mics go.
Hmm.
you know.
I've never done, and that's one I've done one live show, and that was
Hmm.
out. Kevin, that had me
That's
so stressed
different.
out so bad because
Yeah,
I
that's a
kept
different monster.
right. It's total. It's total vulnerability. Like you say, you can block and delete
Mm-hmm.
the comment, but I'll just give me some creative licensing where I can edit because I may say, and one thing I do intentional is even when I tell my stories is to tell it from a perspective because it's my story. And if I'm talking about somebody I dated, married to, jumped off with,
Mm-hmm.
whatever, it's my story. It's not theirs. And I want to make sure I don't give enough
Mm-hmm.
details where someone will know who they are because I try to keep
Yeah,
some
that's true.
anonymity. They know who they are because when they see me, they be like, listen.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I know, hey, you know me, and you told that. But I don't want
Mm-hmm.
other people in Saginaw to be like, well, listen, said, was that you? Episode 45, was that
mm-hmm.
you? I don't want that. They are entitled to their privacy, but I can't
yeah.
do that live. And kudos to you all for going
Yeah.
live because I can't do that.
It'd be tough though, but we just push through it, because we got a letter one time on me and Joya did where the person knew me and boy, they was going on. I said, that's the old Kevin they talking about. They
Right,
don't know me no more like that,
right.
because that's what they was bringing up, and
Yeah.
then they brought up her like every time you see her with him, she won't speak. She don't know you. She not gonna
She
speak to
don't know
you,
you, right? She don't know who to
you
speak to.
know. And then
Right.
the rule is when your women can't no woman come speak to the man without speaking to his wife too.
That's right.
So you do that, that's disrespectful, and she take it
That's
that way,
right.
and I had to
As she
support it,
should.
just like vice versa.
Hmm.
So, but
And
yeah,
I get it. I get it. So
hmm
I was about to ask what's the difference? What is what is the difference between when you host solo versus when you enjoy your host together?
you know what? I find it harder now to be solo because I'm so
Really?
used to her being with me. Like I'm
Hmm.
more than a coach. Sometimes,
Hmm.
like if I know you and we vibing, it's just
Hmm.
I'm like you. I have my questions for you.
Hmm.
But by the time we 5 minutes into the interview, I don't even have questions no more. It's just my
I know.
last two podcasts. Um, I had questions. I asked the first two. Then after that, it was just like
Hmm.
we were back on the block, hanging out, having a good time.
Hmm.
And I like those kind of podcasts.
Hmm.
But I like more when she with me because it's
Hmm.
like a Run DMC thing. We back and forth,
Hmm.
feeding off each other.
Tag
Like,
team.
yep. So just like this new episode that's gonna come out tonight about this letter.
Mm,
you know, everybody pay attention. If you was on and you want to know about that letter, we know about that letter. so yeah,
now I said the
hey,
subscribe so it come up.
uh, that's some that letter is some dicking conversations for real.
I gotta see the letter. I gotta see what happened with the letter. I gotta watch it tonight. Make sure.
I
8 o'clock.
I tried to get her to do a clip of her reading it so I
Hmm.
can
A
post it, but
teaser.
she wouldn't want to do it. Yeah, a little teaser.
She didn't want to do
So
the teaser. Really?
mm-hmm.
Gotta do the
Mm-hmm.
teasers. Opus Clips will give you so
Yeah.
many teasers. You'd be like, oh, okay.
Oh yeah. That's for real.
Currently, what's your favorite podcast and why?
The Mr. and Mrs. Marshall. Yeah, and
I
it's
like
the reason
that.
why, because it's me and my wife. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
I could do things on my own, but to sit and talk with her and conversate with her and mentor other people, especially these
Hmm.
young people that we mentor about
Yeah.
relationships and life and love, I think that's cool. Like we tell everybody, we not
Hmm.
counselors, not
Hmm.
professional counselors, but
Hmm.
we gonna tell you what we went through to help you get through what you're going through. And
Hmm.
most of the stuff we do talk about is relationships that if it's not us, it's that somebody talked to
You
us
know.
about.
Hmm.
And we just giving them input,
Hmm.
because we got a couple that don't believe in marriage, but they strong in love. But he head strong on things, she head strong on things. And sometimes I'll be like, how y'all together? But they make it work.
Amen. I know that feeling.
And but they
Mhm.
listen to us and they say, man, y'all help us so much. So that's what
Yeah.
keeps us going too, because we
They
know we
don't want to
helping.
get married or they're
No,
just.
they don't want to. They don't want to.
Really?
Yep. That's how, and but it's weird because both of them believe that strongly. And they're great, a great couple. So
I know people. I'm still kind of way to a degree, but Sandra Bullock changed my mind about that about people who get
Mm,
married because she was. It was right before she married the biker Jesse James, and
mm,
he had gotten into a bad accident. She went to the hospital, and she said the doctors came out told her they need to do this surgery to save his life, and she said, "Okay, go ahead and do the surgery." And they said, "No, you're not his wife. We got to wait for the
mm,
next of kin to get here." She said, "But we are together. We've been together for years. We live in the same household." They say, "But you're not his next of kin." So she
mm,
said she had to wait for his parents to fly across country for his mom to
mm.
walk in and say, "Do the surgery." And they said, "Okay." And they ran and did it. She said at that moment, she
Wow.
realized, I need to marry this man because how am I with this man day in, day out?
Hmm.
And I can't even be the person to make the decision to save his life. And then after
Yeah.
that, she was like, "Okay, let's get married." Of course, it didn't last because he cheated. But
Yeah.
when she said that, I went like,
Hmm.
"Oh wow, okay, that's a
Yeah.
good thing for it."
That's something. That's deep.
Mhm. Mhm.
That's
That's what
deep.
I had said. Like, oh okay. What do you want to tackle next? What topic?
Man, far as more than the coach or
Anything on any of them?
um, you know what? On more than the coach, I do want to do a show with black men and
Ooh.
just talk about the daily struggles of a black man. That
Ooh.
because
Mhm.
we go through them,
I want that. Yeah.
and
Mhm.
I want to put the right group of brothers together
Uh
and
huh.
talk to them because
Mhm.
I know so many, but I want the right
Mhm.
ones that's gonna come from
Mhm.
each different background. I
Mhm.
don't want us all to be from the same walk of life. And
Mhm.
I really want to have that conversation. And I'm actually looking at doing that live,
Ooh.
together. Like a panel where we
Yeah.
sitting around the round table and
Yeah.
let's just talk about it.
Mhm.
Let because right now a lot of guys I know dealing with the loss of loved ones, especially
Yeah.
this holiday.
We're getting that
And
age. We're
and I know
becoming
what
that age. Yeah.
yeah,
We're losing
and I
parents.
know what
Mhm.
they going through,
Mhm.
so and it's things like that. And I want to talk to women about
Mhm.
like women that have kids by good fathers
Mhm.
and why y'all so mean to these dudes. you know,
Ooh, you
for
really finna
real.
you wanna tussle. You ask that question, you
Yeah,
want to tussle.
I wanna rub some shoulders because I done seen some things and I ain't happy with, you
Yeah.
know. And they might even say the same thing, well, why these men ain't good, because it probably is some,
But
you know.
it may not be that. I had a conversation with the guy I don't know if we used to date or I don't know what we are. But anyway, we're friends and I'm still I mean, I've said it on a million podcast episodes. I'm cool with everybody I ever dated, married to, jumped
Hmm.
off, side piece, side chick, whatever I was with them, I'm still
Hmm.
cool with them. And I don't mean like dislike 'em. I mean, I'm cool. Like if they call, I'm answering the phone. If they say, "Hey, what you doing? Just
Yeah.
going to go have lunch." We going to go have lunch.
Hmm.
I'm not mad at anybody I ever dated. One,
Yeah.
because all of them did me dirty. So
Hmm.
and so I could God forgiven them. But at the same time, just because we didn't make it, don't make them a bad
Hmm.
person. We just weren't
Yeah.
meant to be together.
Yeah.
So, I get that a lot of women take the hurt that a man did to them and make that their
Hmm.
characteristic. Like he ain't shit. That's not necessarily true because you was with him.
Yeah. That's right.
He just wasn't meant to be with you, or
Yeah.
what you had in mind for your relationship is not what he had in
Hmm.
mind for your relationship.
Yeah.
And men do the same thing. You can't say, well, these
Yep.
women out here like that.
Oh
What you
yeah.
have
It go
in
both
mind,
ways.
it goes both ways. What you
Yeah.
have in mind for a woman partner, female partner, what, that's not what she has in mind. If them visions don't line up, it ain't gonna work.
Hmm.
But
Yep. But that
you want to tussle. You ask about these men.
yeah.
Ooh, baby daddy,
I
these
just
women.
wanna get to some real conversations. That's
I was
all.
that though. I hear you. I was that.
Yep.
I was bitter where I
Yep.
wouldn't let my ex-husband come get the kids and they crying. We want to go with our daddy. Like, no, you don't. I was bitter. I was mad. He had
yeah.
moved on. He had another girlfriend. And it's like,
Mm.
y'all ain't going, y'all staying here with me. And it was to
Yeah.
punish him. It
Yep.
was. It was to
And
punish
those
him.
are kind of conversations that I want to have because I think people would be open and sincere to it.
Hmm.
I don't want, nobody fighting or nothing, but I just want people to have conversations and be real about it, especially the guys. That's been I actually had this thought for almost a year now,
Hmm.
you know. And then the other thing I got going, I'm gonna be doing barbershop thing. You
Oh,
know
I
how the
love
women
that.
go to beauty
Hmm.
shops? I'm
Hmm.
going to the barbershops and we're gonna have conversations in the barbershops.
Because that's
You
another
know.
kind of conversation. I
Oh,
notice
that's
men in
oh
the
we.
conversation and men in the barbershop, something different. Especially,
Oh yeah. It's some it's some stuff in there. I think the one of the ones I had probably about 6 months ago. This dude come in and we all sitting there. It's like 8 o'clock in the morning. And you
hmm.
got about six different barbershop pack. And he said, man, I got a question for y'all. Who would y'all save if they fell overboard? Yourself, your wife, or your kid? And boy, when I tell you that barbershop got intense and people was talking.
What?
And man, I wish I would have had a camera rolling in.
You should
I didn't even
have.
think about it because I was into the conversation with him, you know. So that was deep though. And it made you think. It made you think. Like, what would you do?
Say the kids.
Hmm.
The kids. I say the kids.
Hmm.
If I'm at the point where my life about to end, they still got a future ahead.
Hmm.
They
That's
still got a
that's true. That's
Kevin, I
true.
say on any given day, life don't owe me nothing.
Yeah.
If I die
Nah.
tonight, life
Hmm.
owes me nothing. Like I
Nah.
have had an extraordinary life. I cried so hard when my kids graduated because I think
Hmm.
as far as what I had planned in life was the last thing was to make sure my kids graduate and have,
Hmm.
I had checked that off. And I think it's like I was like, okay, what else I have left in life? Because it was some stuff
Hmm.
I had, as you growing up. I want to learn how to drive a car and drive a stick shift. I want to go here. I want to get my driver's license. And I
Yep.
had done all the things I had planned to do in my life: graduate college, get married, have a wedding, but you know,
Hmm.
and even some stuff I hadn't planned to do. I zip line through the jungle, zip line down Fremont
Hmm.
Street. I done swam with stingrays and rode snowmobiles up mountains. I did stuff, from
Hmm.
the east side of Saginaw. I ain't never think I'm
Yeah.
gonna swim with a stingray. What? No.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I've
That's
done those
deep there.
things. Right.
Well,
So
I
it's
want to
like,
swim
okay.
with a shark, so
Yeah, that's
I
my mama says she want to do that too.
yeah,
I'm
I want
straight
to
on
get in the
that.
cage with a shark. You know,
That's my mama want to
they don't eat black meat, so yeah, I'm gonna take my
do.
chance.
Who told you that? Who told you?
I ain't never seen a shark attack. I watch Shark Week faithfully, so
I did too.
uh,
I love some good Shark Week.
I ain't never seen them attack us. So
Because
I
we ain't in
mean,
there. You jump in there,
that's
you'll
true
find
too.
out like, oh yeah, they do.
Yeah,
They like
that's all
dark
right.
meat too.
I won't turn him over. That's all. Nah,
Yeah, but
hmm,
maybe I'll be watching that one because I'm waiting to hear how you
yeah,
tackle those. Because woo, what's something
hmm,
about you want to change?
mm, wow, that's good. I think, wow, that's a good question.
Hmm.
I think if it's probably be better, be better, parent. I
Yeah.
think I'll go that route.
Yeah.
I think I'm a great pawpaw, but I gotta go be a better parent.
I
I
think is
think
it
that.
Damon Wayans said grandparents show how they should have loved their children. Grandparents are
Yeah,
to their grandchildren how they should have been to their kids, but they didn't know. A lot of times
didn't
parents
know.
are growing with their kids. Yeah, they didn't know.
Yeah. And
They
I
didn't
used to always say that about my aunt that raised me. Like,
know. Mm.
man, she treat them grandkids like go. And
Mm-hmm.
now I'm a grandparent of six.
Woo,
I see it. Yep, five girls and one boy. And
woo.
I see it because
It's different.
they my world.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they my world, and I go to the end of the world for them. And I don't care when I was in that brace and just getting out of surgery, they needed something. I
Mm-hmm.
made sure it happened for them.
I've
So I
heard
think
that.
that's what I would go back to. I
I've
would
heard
try to
that.
be a better parent, even though all
Mm-hmm.
my kids are grown and old. They
Mm-hmm.
still my kids. You know. So, yep, I
Mm-hmm.
think that's what it'd be.
Now, what's something about yourself you hope never changes?
My my love for people. I'm a people person. You
Mm-hmm.
know, my wife say I talk too much to people, but like I told her, I just know people. Like we went out. to Applebee's last night. They had to come get me because me and the dude was having a conversation. He left his wife, I left mine, but I just love people. So I just hope that I don't get to that point where I stop liking people. Because I done seen a lot of old people that's ornery, mean. A couple uncles that way. But
It
I
ain't
don't
that
want to
I
be
don't
that.
like them. It's not that I like them. I
Yeah.
just didn't. I thought that I'm a people person. I kind of am, still is, very much so.
Mm-hmm.
But when we went into quarantine, like when people are
Oh
like, "Oh my
yeah.
God, I haven't had human contact and I haven't seen anybody," and I was like, "I think
Oh
I'm all
yeah.
right." And the job I
I.
had before I moved, when I was working in
Hmm.
Saginaw, like I worked and I was over at one point like 139 people. So it was always somebody in my office. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm always in
Yeah.
meetings and talking to people and stuff like that. And I'm thinking like I'm a people person. I love people all the time. And then when I got away in quarantine, I was like, well, maybe I don't love people as much as I thought because I don't feel bad about
Yeah,
being
and I
away.
think that destroyed me. I was like, man, because I'm so used to being
Oh,
out and about, around people and talking and helping. So yeah, I think that's it.
yeah, I was sneaking out though. I was sneaking during quarantine. I was all down here.
Mm-mm. I ain't
Well,
mad
I
at you.
think that was all I have. Now give us all your socials, all the podcasts before we get ready to close out. I appreciate this so much.
Man, I appreciate you having me. This is great. You can follow me, of course, at Marshall Media on
Mhm.
YouTube, um, Facebook, Kevin Marshall, Marshall Media, as well as More Than the Coach. Instagram, it's Marshall Media, or you can see More Than the Coach. So, and I'm on everything. I got to get on Pandora. I'm not on Pandora
Yeah.
yet. And you gotta tell me that secret. But other than that, I'm on all
Okay.
platforms with all the shows, and you
Yeah.
can catch me on TikTok everywhere. TikTok, y'all excuse me. Sometimes I just do dumb stuff on there. I let loose a little bit. That's what I was during quarantine, a TikTok king. I think I probably got about 300
Oh.
videos from quarantine time. Yeah, so.
I need that's the one
Mm-hmm.
you know what, that's the one social media I spend the most time on, but I don't have a big social media footprint in TikTok. I don't make a lot of videos.
Mm,
I
okay.
rarely make a lot of videos. I would love to. I need
Yeah.
to. I really
Yeah,
need to.
it's easy to get caught up in it, doing it all the time. So, but that's one I'm on
And I
though.
see a lot of people it's lucrative. Now I have
Yeah.
here's what's funny. I didn't realize, and I think I made a video the other day, and it was like if you make or I went live one time for 5 minutes and I panicked, like I don't know how this works. And it sends you hints to how to make the money off of it. Like go
Mm-hmm.
live for 30 minutes again the
Yep.
next day and you can make this amount of money. Or claim this and it's $20
Yep.
here. And you do I was like, oh, now I get why people are on it's very lucrative. It's
I
very,
did
very
that
lucrative.
Christmas Eve, and I was on over an hour, and it said that it was one of the highest ratings for a
Hmm.
Christmas Eve show. I
Mhm,
got a little thing that gave me a notice on there. Then I went
mhm,
back the next day, posted something again. So, but
mhm.
I tell you what, Facebook been kind of lucrative to me.
I'm not monetized on any media. None.
Wow. And yeah,
None.
Facebook, they just started, but hey, I ain't mad at it. That's why I post so much on there.
Really?
Yeah.
I need
Facebook
to
is
get better
Facebook
with
give you a
it.
nice little something something for real.
That's
You
what my
know,
friend Erica said.
I, I bought Christmas gifts with Facebook. Yeah.
Really? Yeah,
Yeah.
you gotta tell me about
So
the
check.
monetizing, 'cause
Oh
I'm
yeah,
not there.
it's simple. It's simple. And they step by step it too on what you got to do. But the biggest thing is every day post something. And then I post on one and share it to all the rest of them. So, and
Oh,
that keep the
yeah.
content going. Mm-hmm.
Now I do that
Yep.
with one of my videos. If I make a promo video, like I know I do a more promo video and I do it on my Dick and Conversation podcast and my personal page on Facebook, and then I put
Mm-hmm.
it on both of my Instagrams, and then I'll put it on
Mm-hmm.
TikTok. But oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta tell me
Oh
about that because
yeah.
I'm not there.
Yep.
I gotta get
Yes,
better.
cause yeah, it's all right. It take time, but when we doing it by ourselves, that's what it be. You got to learn. So now my new move is I'm on Patreon.
I've heard about that.
So
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, and
Okay.
Patreon they say is lucrative too. So
Hmm.
like all me and my wife shows go to Patreon now. Because we're gonna start getting
Hmm.
detailed and deep into some of them letters. And we don't want to do it too much on YouTube because
Yeah.
YouTube will ban you or block you. But Patreon, you're gonna get the full letter. So
Oh,
yeah, so you'll see I'll be advertising that, but I ain't trying to kill everybody. I think I just charge $3 on there
that's not bad.
because you get $1.50 and they'll take $1.50.
Oh,
That's
split
it.
50-50. Oh, that's not bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's not
Nope.
bad at all.
So yeah, so
I
that's
gotta
about
get
it
to
right
that.
there.
I gotta get to that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank
Hmm.
you. You and I both have to go watch it Sunday. We're recording this on the
Oh
Sunday,
yeah.
so in the middle of
Oh
Sunday
yeah.
football.
That's all right. That's all right. Mine right over my
So,
shoulder.
and mine kind of over here. I look, oh, it was the score.
Yep, no problem. I'm
I
happy right now.
appreciate this. Thank you,
Yeah,
thank you,
thank you.
thank
I
you, Kevin
appreciate you.
Marshall. Once again, I appreciate having you
Hmm.
on the Dick and Conversation podcast. I'm Elissa. You've been listening to me probably on Amazon, iHeart, Pandora, watching me possibly on
Hmm.
Spotify, and definitely if you're on YouTube, you're watching me. Once again, my socials are Dick and Conversation podcast page on Facebook. Dick and Conversation Podcast
Hmm.
on YouTube channel. My Instagram is Dick and Conversation _podcast. And my email is dickandconvo@gmail.com. And I am on Blue Sky, dickandconvo.bsky.social. Once
Hmm.
again, Kevin, thank you.
Thank you for having me. I
Thank
appreciate it.
you. I
You have a
appreciate
blessed
this.
day. All right.
Thank you. Oh, but don't hang it up because I need to make sure that you upload.
Oh yeah, got to make sure of that.
I know. And I'll
Hmm.
see you all next time.